Hey everyone, thank you for joining New Jersey Wedding Podcasts. If this is your first time joining us, we are your hosts, Andrea and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants here in the state of New Jersey. And this is your go-to podcast for planning your wedding in New Jersey. And we're just coming off of Thanksgiving, so hope everybody's Thanksgiving holiday was great. How are you doing, Celia? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I'm like, we're coming out of the turkey coma at this point,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'm still trying to remember what day it is. I'm
I
always
know
off.
I'm
I
not going
want
to
to.
know what day it is until
One
it's
of
going to
those.
be like February before I know what day it is with like all
I
these
know.
holidays. Like, I don't know. I didn't work yet. It must be Monday. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
And
don't know.
and here we are heading into, well, end of the year elopements are still very popular to get married
Yes.
in the month of December or the beginning of
Yes.
January. And I can tell you, both Celia and I have a lot of availability
Yeah,
for
it's easy.
your simple
Yeah.
elopement. We can help you with it.
Yeah.
So feel free to contact us for that. And then it's engagement season.
It is. It is. And it seems like if you're planning a wedding in 2026, it feels like so far away. But
Yeah.
I don't know, just anecdotal evidence from my calls, there are a lot of people getting married in 2025
Yeah,
and
yeah.
2026. And we talked about this, a couple of episodes ago. If you're looking for your vendors, which you really should be, and you have somebody that you really, really want to have, just call them, talk to them, and book them. Because
Yeah.
by the time that you get around to it, it's like, well, I know it's the holidays and they're shopping, they're dragging trees from here to there, they're like lighting menorahs, they're doing all kinds of stuff. But, take 20 minutes and talk to somebody that you're really interested in because they may not be there when you've done a search, you've found a person or a couple people that you think are going to be fabulous for you, and if you really wait until January, everybody else is going to have called them first.
I had a call this morning that where and she said to me, our ceremony is in May of 2025. Is it too early to call you? I'm like, no,
No,
it is
no,
not too early. And then quite
no.
frankly, in another couple of weeks, you might not be able to find the vendors that you
Right.
want.
Because
It's
yeah, because
amazing how the flow of it goes during
it's
engagement
crazy.
season. So
It's crazy.
uh
And a lot of people did know that they have an inkling or they've talked about getting engaged and we're waiting for the day, which very often is, Thanksgiving or Christmas or, New Year's Eve and everybody else who had the same thought as you are is now like we have to put this together.
yes.
So, and you know what, you can relax.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, we have to find this, we have to
You
find a
got it.
florist.
You
And of
got it.
course, shameless plug, you should go to our Benable page because the best New Jersey vendors are there, right?
Right, right. And we
All
have
in one place.
all in one place on the Binnable page. And also, just listening to this podcast, we
Absolutely.
interview some of the top talented New Jersey wedding vendors and venues.
Yep.
And if there is somebody you want to hear from, that you don't see that we've interviewed, then just let us know. We'll get them on the
We'll
podcast.
get them.
We'll
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 try it.
review them. We'll talk about them. We'll let you know.
We are.
So yeah, this is just such a great resource for
It's a perfect
planning
time.
your wedding. And
Yeah.
speaking of that, I think that everybody is going to very much enjoy the interview that we just did with Erica Lynn, makeup artist.
Oh, she's
And
great.
you discovered her. She's great.
I
And
did. She is lovely. We went to the Rock Island Lake Club was nice enough to have a vendor open house, which is, it's so nice because you get to see the people that, it's basically the preferred list and you get to see the people that you work with all the time, but
uh,
you don't really have a chance to talk because everybody has something to do in the next 5 minutes. And it's just, it's very gracious and relaxing and lovely. And we just kind of I just kind of happened to buy. She was standing somewhere, and Michael went up and started to talk to her, and she was with her brother-in-law actually, Tyler, who was a DJ. I'm gonna get on him too to get on this podcast, but she just there's something just so warm and friendly and non-terrifying about her. We talk in the interview about, some people who are not really used to wearing a lot of makeup every day or really not into it. And, some people love that. For me, I don't know. Not me. She just made the whole process of getting your wedding makeup done sound like it might be like actually fun instead of
Yeah.
terrifying. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think, the fact that she was like all on board with doing a trial, I think is a real good idea because I think some of our people are a little bit, terrified about going to their wedding and not looking like themselves anymore. And
Right. We've all
and
seen like the clown makeup. Like, I don't want that. Yeah, I
like,
don't
whoa, what happened
want
there?
I think
And
every woman's nightmare because every once in a while you see that. You don't want to look like that. But she was fabulous.
she was wonderful.
She
Yeah, and
loves, she has a real passion for what she does. And as we
yeah,
all know, when you love what you do, it shows in
it
your
shows.
work.
It does.
She
Yeah.
seems like
And
someone you spend a lot of time. They're very close to you. You spend a
they,
lot of
they are
time.
they are very physically close to you too, and you're probably not like dressed, you're
Yeah,
probably like
right.
in,
You're in your robe and
you're in a
whatever.
pajama or something. And
Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
do,
but she seemed like somebody you'd be very comfortable with. She's
yeah, I
very
think so too.
personable, and that means a lot. Yeah.
I do. And I love her story too. I love, her, going to school, going to college and getting a corporate job. And it's like, wait a second, I don't want to do this. And,
Yeah, this isn't my
like,
passion.
right, what do I need to do to move forward? And, going back to school for makeup, makeup artistry. And, when people think, oh, it's just like mascara, it is like so much more than that. And,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
but I love that, that like let's just go. I'm gonna go and do it. I'm
yeah.
gonna do it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, follow your passion. And it is true that it's not just wedding makeup, it's not just regular makeup. You're
No, it's not
dealing
at
with
all.
photography, videography,
Right.
lights. You might be dealing with a beach ceremony under the
Oh yeah.
sun and moving into an indoor reception. You have to know what you're doing. It's
Yes.
different. It's different than just putting on your makeup at home before going to work. So
Yeah.
yeah, so stay tuned for this fabulous interview with Erica Lynn, makeup artist.
You're engaged. That is just great. But right after that excitement, stress can sneak in like a surprise RSVP. Traditional weddings are beautiful, but they can also be expensive and complicated and frankly a little overwhelming. What if your wedding could be everything you dream of, minus the drama? At NJ Vows Now, we believe your special day should reflect your unique love story, not some outdated list of rules. You can have all the wedding and none of the stress. We have sweet little parks and pretty gardens from the Hudson River to the Jersey Shore to the lush forests of the North and the West. We'll connect you with a curated network of amazing vendors who will understand your vision and respect your budget. We're all passionate, professional, dedicated to making your wedding a relaxed, unforgettable experience. Yes, you still need a license, but we can help you with that too. It's fast, it's easy, and you can still throw a big party later if you want. Doesn't that sound great? Of course it does. So just ditch the drama, vow to be different, and reach out to us at njvowsnow.com. We will have the confetti cannons ready. Good morning, everybody. Well, it may not be morning where you are, but it's morning here. We are so excited to welcome Erica Lynn, who is a fabulous makeup artist based in New Jersey. And I'm personally excited to that I met you. Your
Yeah.
work is beautiful, and
Thank
I
you.
feel like for a lot of the brides that I've talked to, because we always ask, who's doing this, who's doing that. When it
Hmm.
gets to makeup, because I would imagine that you're probably kind of in the same timeline as we are in
Hmm.
where people book us. It's kind of like sort of towards the end. And I think that some people are really terrified about this aspect of planning their wedding. Flowers, those are fun. But
Yeah.
makeup, it's like I put on mascara every morning and I look like great. So I
Yep.
know you're going to address that a little bit.
And it's so important too, because you've spent the money on the photographer and the
Oh yeah,
videographer, and you want to
yeah.
look good in
Exactly.
front of all your guests. So
Yeah.
even though it's kind of a scary thing, it's a very important
It's a great
aspect.
thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Erica, tell us a little bit about your story because it's a terrific story. It's not like the story has ended. The story's kind of just at the beginning, and I think it's really kind of
Yeah.
fascinating.
Definitely. So I always did makeup throughout high school, college. I'm currently 26 years old. So in terms of my own business, I'm just getting that started really this year. And I've been doing that and just pursuing it a lot more this past year because, I took that typical corporate route out of college and everything.
Mm.
And I always just kind of felt that that wasn't anything I wanted to do long term. I always said, once I'm a little bit older, I want to do makeup to be able to, provide for myself. And also, that's always something that I've loved to do. And I've kept up with it all throughout while I was still doing my corporate job. So I just really decided to finally pursue it and make it my own business because I'm passionate about it and I'm good at it. And, people are always asking me to do it. So, this year I really just dived into it and I recently got certified at the Artist Makeup Academy. It's located in Rahway, New Jersey. So I was just taught by some of the best and just one of the greatest makeup artists in New Jersey. There are so many of them. And they're just very renowned for their work, either like in editorial, in bridal, just in so many ways. So I was able to get a really well-rounded education through that and just learned so much about etiquette and everything. And just really helped like spring me into this new bridal world. And I've been working at a salon doing makeup there too. So it's just been a really fun journey this year. And I'm really happy that I was able to finally dive into it.
Right,
That's
right. I love a follow your passion story because, if you follow your passion, what do they say? You never really work, you're
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, for sure. No, it's been great. And, I think when you are passionate about something, it shows through your work and everything. So it's something
absolutely.
that
Your
I'm,
passion
you know,
shows in your work, your love for what
yeah,
you do and your connection to your clients.
yes.
Absolutely.
Tell us about like what is the makeup experience look like on that day, like in terms of timing and
Hmm.
number of women and who gets what and how do you work with that?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, bridal is a completely different animal from just special event makeup because you really have to make sure that the timing and also that the bride feels relaxed on that day. Because that's like you
Mm.
were saying, it's pretty much the most personal experience that they're going to be having with a vendor. Because
Mhm.
we're working with their face, that's going to be showing in all of their pictures. That's the most timeless that they want to look. And it's just a really important and personal aspect for them. So, in regards to timing, I usually say ask like when the photographer arrives because when the photographer arrives,
Right.
that's really when we have to be done. So um that kind of helps us set the timeline. And then obviously, depending on the amount of people that they have in their bridal party, some makeup artists will now like just do the bride. I think I would, I'm not really at that point yet where I'm just going to be doing the bride. I would probably do, bride, mother of the bride, maybe mother of the groom if they're also going to be getting that done. And then if they have a lot of other people in the wedding party, then you would have a team with you, or I would have a team with me to help me out with those other people because, each bridal person you probably want to have to be like 45 minutes to an hour max. And the bride is really the one who gets that maximum amount of time. So
Mhm.
usually they're like an hour and a half to a 2 hour time slot just to really make sure that it's a nice, relaxing experience for them because they also get the special treatment. Like they'll get a mini facial involved. It's all about the skin prep, just making sure that they're relaxed because it starts early on in the day. If you have a big party and say if the photographer's
Yeah.
getting there at like 11 a.m., you're going to have to start at probably like 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
definitely want to make sure that, me as the makeup artist and my team, that we're bringing the energy. We're just making sure that the bride and her party feels relaxed and are just getting them ready for, all of the anxiety and nerves that are to come for that day.
Right. You talk about preparing their skin the day of. Do
Mhm.
you also have any advice for brides leading up to the day for preparing their skin, or is that not necessary?
No, that's definitely necessary. Like having a good base is very important for making your makeup look good too. So usually we recommend that you're getting a series of facials a few months before your wedding. Like some people like, even start something monthly, 6 months before the wedding.
Hmm.
Or honestly, as long as they feel that's necessary to really see the results that they want. And then also dermaplaning is something, I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but
Oh, I don't
that's
know it.
yeah, so it's a facial treatment. People can do it themselves, but it's really recommended that you go somewhere to get it done. It essentially is just a little shave for your face because all those peach fuzz that you have on your face. getting dermaplaned really just helps the makeup to really adhere to your skin rather to any fuzzies that you have on your face or anything like
Mhm.
that. And it just ensures the best base that you have, and also that you're not going to see anything extra in those pictures, like whether it be close-ups or anything like that. So it just gives the most flawless look.
Yeah, there's such a balance you need between having the makeup perfect for the photography that
Mm-hmm.
shows
Right.
up so much, but also being comfortable in your own skin around your guests, that
Absolutely.
that balance of that. Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's definitely a big thing. I mean, it's
the
also
talent.
based on the bride's preference too. Like some people are so comfortable with makeup and they want a full glam. But then you also have, I would say the majority of people are like, I still want to look like myself. And
Mhm.
I think,
Right.
that's something that either certain makeup artists can be specialize in. Like I would say that I definitely specialize in more of a soft glam, that timeless look where it's still a full coverage, but it's very soft, natural features, and it's just going to enhance your natural beauty, which I think is what a lot of brides want on their wedding day.
I
Uh, this
agree. Yeah.
this is a good time for me to tell the listeners that we will have a link to Erica Lynn, makeup artist, Erica Lynn MUA,
Mhm.
a link to her Instagram. So you can just click right on that link and check out her Instagram pictures so you can see her style as
Yeah.
well as her website. And you can just click right from there. So I just wanted to put that in there so that people can go there and see pictures of your work, which is really
Yeah.
quite beautiful.
Oh,
Really
thank you so
beautiful.
much. Thank
Yeah.
you. I really appreciate it.
And very natural looking too. Natural in like the best that you can possibly look kind of way.
Right.
Yeah, I really thank you. I really aim to try and do that. Again, that's that soft features that I was mentioning. There are definitely people who like to have it look like there's more makeup, and that's for sure a look that I can achieve. But in
Mhm.
terms of that more timeless look, I think that's something that's more universal for sure.
As far
You,
as products go, do you have a favorite product that you use? And can you accommodate any special requests? Like if somebody says, I only use cruelty-free makeup or allergy-friendly stuff. How do you deal with that?
So most makeup now is vegan, cruelty free. So
Mhm.
that's not really, I would say, an issue that happens as often as maybe it used to. Um,
Okay.
okay.
in terms of specific products, there's so many that I use. So it's hard to say like exactly specific brands because I noticed too, especially kind of in coming from the salon world, sometimes more mature women are always like, oh, what kind of brands do you use? And they're looking for the most high-end brands. But honestly, sometimes the most high-end brands doesn't mean it's the best. It just means it's more expensive. So
Right.
I have a huge mix of, I would say it's like 50-50 with, the drugstore, more affordable brands, and then also the high-end brands. So there's certain products. I think the most important thing with making your makeup look good, again, like is the skin prep and how you're using your makeup. Definitely products make a difference, but I think it's just that you know how you're using them, and just really putting that knowledge to the best of the work, and then being able to educate your client too of what each product does so they're not too overwhelmed or scared when you're using certain things on their face.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when I prepare to officiate a ceremony, I don't put my makeup on until an hour before I leave my house because
Hmm.
if I put it on earlier in the day, by the time I go to do the wedding, it's not looking so great anymore.
Yeah.
How do you keep your brides? What are the tricks of the trade that, I see brides, they've had their makeup on all day and they still look beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that definitely has to do with one, the amount of makeup. And I know for some people that can sound scary, but it's true when you want makeup to last longer and really be locked in, a little bit more makeup and more coverage is needed. You can still achieve that soft and natural effect, but you do have to use the amount of makeup that requires. So there's that, but then there's also a lot of techniques like I mentioned, the prep before the makeup is super important. Just making sure that your skin has a great base to really adhere that makeup on. And then setting it is also very important. So I find that a lot of
Mhm.
people are scared of powders because they think it's going to make them look too matte and not natural and cakey. But really powders are so important in setting your makeup in and actually making it look more natural and wear nicely throughout the day. Also like setting sprays. There are setting sprays that you can put on after everything that really just makes your makeup bulletproof. And there's some like really popular ones that the bridal industry likes to use. I know like there's is it Krylon? Yeah, it's like a blue bottle. It essentially looks like hairspray, but just using those kinds of products really make sure that you're super locked in. And I know you mentioned that you like to do your makeup very close so it still looks good, but when you're taking all of these steps, it actually does help for it to almost look better as you wear in throughout the day,
Yeah.
because then your natural oils are combining with the makeup. It's really just making it look like your skin. So I actually love the way my makeup looks like an hour, 2 hours after it's done. And then, as long as there's a lot of the good sets put in place that, the professional would know, then it just kind of gets better as it goes on.
Yeah, that's good to
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's funny.
Yeah.
I did a wedding at the Empire State Building. It was a publicity thing, and they had an entire makeup room for, there were like four different couples. There were
Mhm.
six brides and a bunch of moms, and I don't think they did all the bridal party, but I mean, it was like an amazing experience well, literally when I got off the elevator, somebody just said to the other person, like, just grab her, please. It's like, God, I thought I looked kind of cute when I left the house, but apparently not. And
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. I'm
but I
sure
mean,
you looked beautiful
well,
regardless.
you know what? I have to say, I was in the chair for like
Camera.
10 minutes, and this is all televised. It was like all over like press and everything. 10 minutes after, they had me in the chair, they only had 10 minutes, and, a little bit of eyeliner, a little bit of this and that. It's like, wow, I have never looked this good. I'm never taking this off. It's like really
Yeah.
kind of amazing. It's like, I can't replicate this ever. And I don't think I ever have. But
Yeah.
do you recommend that people, especially people who are a little like makeup shy, do
Mhm.
you recommend that they do a trial with you?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think especially with like mother of the brides too, I feel like
Mm,
often people don't think of giving them a trial, but those are the women who most often I think are very worried about how it's going to come out on the day
yeah.
because, with more mature skin, they're worried about it. So it's super helpful just to have that time, bride and mother of bride, whoever is worried about it really, to
Yeah.
just come and have the experience. One, because if you don't wear makeup a lot, it's often that you're not very familiar with makeup terms.
Hmm.
So, for example, I had
Mhm.
somebody that I was doing once, and she was talking about the kind of dimensions that she typically likes on her face. So when we first started out, she said, I really like blush, which is, the pink color on your cheeks. She said, I
Hmm.
don't like bronzer. Bronzer's a brown, the brown, more so shadow around your face. So once I got to that part, I was like, okay, so you like more of the pinkiness, right? And not the brown. She's like, oh, no, no, no. I don't want pink. I want just the brown.
Yeah.
So that was just her
Yeah.
not being familiar with, what those two products are. So you run into those kinds of situations a lot. So I think when there's somebody who, again, like doesn't wear makeup, is going to be uncomfortable with it, a trial can really just help them feel comfortable. One, so I can help educate them, obviously in a nice way and respectful way throughout the process, and just really find what they're most comfortable with, especially coverage wise, because sometimes they think they don't want a lot of coverage, but then they see it and they're like, oh, this doesn't look like much. So it just
Yeah.
helps a lot to help them feel more at ease and more confident on the day of.
That's great. No, I think and really that it comes down to, I think that it's like making whether it's, how does the dress fit, or how does the
Mhm.
makeup look, or how does
Yeah.
who's interacting with the couple, the, photography. I mean, I'm a big fan of people getting to know their vendors a little bit before they end up on that day, because you then do become the team that we talk about so often.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, well said. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a trust issue there. It's like, I know this woman. She's had my face before, and
Hmm.
We
it's,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah. And again, it is so personal. So even just to build that relationship even more, like outside of emails, outside of calls, like you definitely want to have that experience just so we're completely comfortable on the day of and you're relaxed and not worrying about all of the other things that you're going to be worrying about anyway.
yeah, because you're going to look great, and
Yeah.
I think
For
that's
your typical bridal makeup package. I got to say, in the 14 years that I've been officiating weddings, only twice have I seen a bride that had her makeup artist stay there to do
Yeah.
touch-ups.
Hmm.
I don't know that it's that common, but maybe I just don't notice it. But really, I can only think of twice. Do you do you get that often, Erica, or what's your typical bridal makeup package?
Yeah, so usually they don't opt to do that sort of a thing
Yeah.
because it is an hourly rate. Like if you do want the touch-ups, either like I could be there at an hourly rate or have someone else on my team stay throughout the wedding
Mhm.
again at an hourly rate. So sometimes they're just not willing to pay for that. And with a bridal package, a lot of like what I like to do, and I know what a lot of other makeup artists do, is they do provide a touch-up kit and
Yeah,
just
that's a
kind
great
of,
idea.
That is a
yeah.
great idea.
So
I didn't know that. Yeah.
yeah, it'll usually be like a powder puff with a little bit of the powder that you used, and then maybe a mini lip gloss or a little bit of the lip color that you use, because that's really the main thing that's going to wear off.
Right.
So just little extra touches like that make them feel comfortable not needing to do it. But again, if it is something that they choose they want to do, then it's definitely something that can be accommodated, but it's just not as common.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that very much actually.
No, I don't see that very much, but I was wondering about that, 'cause
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
what I need is I need someone to follow me around.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I
And listen, if
wipe
that's what
my
somebody
eye
wants
and I
to
have
do,
mascara all over.
for sure, for sure. Like it's totally understood why you would want that. But I think a lot of people are also just like, oh my gosh, the rest of the day is going to go in a blur. Like they probably might forget
Right.
that that person's there.
It really
Right.
does. And if it's done right to begin with and it's, all set and like fine and as you said, it's gonna last.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I like leaving the touch-up kit. I never thought of that. Do you have a favorite, wedding memory from or a memorable bride that you worked with, something out of the ordinary or very special?
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the weddings that I've done up until now have been through the salons, so it hasn't been like as much of a personal experience. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But that's really what I love about like having your own clients too. It's like you really get to build up that personal experience. Um, I did have a bride recently and I did it for her, what was it, for her bridal shower. And it was really nice because she was again somebody who didn't wear a lot of makeup usually. She just kind of showed me a basic picture of something that she does on her everyday, and she was one of those people again who really just still wanted to feel like herself, which
Mhm.
I get a lot. So I essentially, when it's like that, I usually start like, okay, like let's start the most natural, and then if you want something more we can always add on, because you can always add something else than rather remove. And we ended up doing just like a very simple look for her, but it was like very classic. And she like even like it was just a little bit of mascara. She didn't even do the fake lashes. And she was like, wow, I loved this so much more than I thought I would, like based on what you were describing and just like the minimalist aspect of it. But she loved it and she sent me pictures after the fact. So it's just really
Aw.
nice. Yeah, like when you have that kind of experience of, once again, you get to educate the person about maybe something that you understand from your experience would be more suitable for them. And then when they see it on themselves and they really love it too, it's so nice. And especially for like the most important days that they're having in these super special events, that's always the stuff that I look forward to the most.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And when you do start building relationships with families, they, they've got other people getting married. They've got, anniversaries and weddings and, special events that they would like to look, really nice and photogenic for. And I think
Yeah,
that's really great.
yeah, for sure.
Right. I would also think that even if you are a guest at a wedding, you may want to, or even an event to have, because with everybody on social media and you want to look good, that you might
Hmm.
want
Yeah.
professional makeup
Oh
done.
yeah, I get that all the time. A lot of wedding guests um are always looking to get their makeup done,
Want to feel
for
good.
dances, for
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. Some people even like to have their makeup done for like a fancy date night. Why not? Treat yourself and just make
Absolutely.
yourself feel pampered.
I think that sounds great. God.
Yeah.
Well, I was really glad to meet you and it's been wonderful to talk to you and good luck on your business and growing that. That's always it's nerve-wracking, but it's fun, and I think
Yeah.
you're well prepared for it, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Thank you
Andrea,
so much.
I want to tell the listeners again that her website is Erica Lynn, MUA, Erica Lynn Makeup Artist. We will have a link to her website as well as her Instagram, so you can just click right on it and go to her and contact her and get a consultation and a trial. So thank you so much, Erica, for joining us today. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed talking to you and being on, and thanks for this opportunity.
Sure,
it's great
sure.
to talk to you. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.